Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I will be telling you guys and explaining how to prep for a hospital interview. So let's just get right into it. Okay, so hospitals are very intimidating, y'all. If you're applying to a hospital, I'm pretty sure you might want to be a doctor. You have doctors, PCTs, CNAs, IAs, cleaning, nutrition. There's so many jobs in the hospital, y'all. So a little background about me working in the hospital. I worked in 3 different hospitals, and I kind of tell myself, I was like, you think they'll investigate that? I ain't doing that crazy though. It's only because I left. Like when I was in school, I worked at my local hospital, and I was in nutrition and dietary. So I delivered food. I delivered food to patients' rooms. Got to interact, and I actually really loved that job. I didn't think I was gonna like it that much. And by the way, I'm not going into healthcare. If I ever did with my anthropology degree, it will only be for like bones, like orthopedic or forensics, mainly forensic anthropology. That's it. So I worked as in nutrition, dietary. I worked as a PCT, and I worked as an IA, information associate. So yeah, I got to meet a lot of patients, and it was really actually very warming, and I enjoyed it very well. The nutrition job was definitely my favorite. The reason I left these jobs, I left my nutrition job at the hospital because I'm left for the semester, and it was last semester. And I had to move off campus, but I'm going back on campus next semester. So who knows? I'm pretty sure I'm not going to work there again. But it's an amazing job. The PCT did not last long. I found out that was not for me. But I liked the people, but it's very hands-on, and it was too much for me, guys. I just know that I'm not cut out to be a PCT. My IA position, information associates, those are the people you first see when you get off the elevator. When you first go visit a family member, you see those people at the desk. That's what I was doing as well. That also didn't work out for me. But I learned a lot and got a lot of information out of it, and learned like a lot of new skills that that'll help me so on in my career. So before working in a hospital, you have to go through an interview process. So it's very, very hard to get a job in a hospital. They consider so many things, and then once you get the job, you're not in there till like probably the next month, because compared to other jobs, I think it's harder to get up in the hospital because they really do background checks. No matter what position you're in, you're gonna be with patients. You're gonna be near people. Anything can happen at all times. They're constantly calling codes up everywhere. They're calling codes all around hospitals, and I'm not all the different codes. You got like kidnapped and stuff like that. The code blue is just so much going on. So do y'all really think they gonna let just anybody up in there? They do full background checks. So I was surprised when I'm not gonna say I was surprised when I got hired, because I legit just needed a job. But one good thing is I got the ones I went. I only did a couple. Like I said, it had 3, but I applied for 2 more online, like at home. So all the interviews I went in person, which was 4 of them, I got 3 out of 4 on the first go. So I'm gonna show you guys, or tell you guys how I got that. So okay. Look. The interview process is very intimidating. It really is. You are in front of these professional people, and the first thing we need to talk about is the resume. So your resume is very important. To me personally, I don't think a resume should have to be like, this kind of showed me that it really didn't matter. I don't think they really look at like the way it's set up. You know how there's a lot of jobs that tells you you need a professional resume. It has to be like this right here, this right here, this right here, this right here. My resume just has my objective, it has my education, skills, and that's it. That's all it is. And I was always told from family that my resume needs to be better. You need to lie. I didn't lie on my resume. I legit just put it as is. I'm a college student. I worked at another hospital before, so I had experience working in a hospital near patients. So the good thing is that you have a higher chance if you have experience with that. So that helped me out with the PCT job. So yeah, that's just the way your resume is set up. I would say if you're a college student, is I wouldn't say you have to necessarily lie on your resume, because I don't think you should have to. They know you're a student. If you say you're a student, they know you're a student. They know you barely have experience. So, and like I said, it also depends on what the position you're applying for. Obviously, if you're a college student, you're not applying for like CNA, because you don't, I'm pretty, like, they have nursing students, stuff like that people apply for. So I'm talking about, this is basically for like the college part. I'm talking about students who have no experience, and that was me when I worked in nutrition, y'all. So let's start with that one. When I went to my resume was this: I had worked on campus, which gave me customer service experience. I just put that I worked on campus for 2 years, which I did. I worked at as a receptionist, just talking to a lot of people, organizing things. So, and I was a nutrition ambassador at the hospital. So it was like a lot of like just delivering food, organizing stuff, like just like fixing stuff, making sure everything going in order. That's all it was. So I got really lucky, and plus my boss at that time, my supervisor, said she was looking for somebody really quick, because she know college students want experience. So that really helped me out, and I was like, oh my god. So I got that that interview was amazing. She actually, like, I barely kind of a word in, which I'm not mad about, because she didn't even ask me about my resume. That's a good thing. A lot of these, like in the hospital, they'll look at your resume online, but they don't, when you go to that interview, they're not going to ask you what's on your resume. I don't think anybody actually does that. So it kind of tells you, what's the point of a resume? So like I said, I put everything on my resume, but at that nutrition job, I think I got off lucky, because she didn't ask me anything. She just asked if I wanted it. I was like, yeah. So with the resume for my PCT job, that time I worked 6 months in the hospital already, so I put that on there, that I was there, and I put everything I did. She did ask me during that with the resume, how was it, and I told her, and I got that job. Like she called the next day that I got that job as well. Also with the PCT job, I told her my experience. So with your resume, like I said, you don't have to lie. I just don't lie. I think it's mainly with like business jobs, like you doing work at home jobs, a lot of business stuff, like buildings. I think that's the stuff you have to lie about, because they want people with experience, or they say. I don't understand that anyway, because you got to teach them anyway. So what's the point of even like lying? Because you got to learn it, and I don't understand why they pick people based on what you have in your resume. Because if they pick you, they have to train you. It's not like you're gonna know anything anyway. So yeah, the resume doesn't have to be like I said. It also depends on what you're applying for. Like the basic jobs they don't have to be that detailed. They want like people with customer service, people who have talked to people, who are not afraid, who are able to be strong, because in the hospital you have to be strong, guys. Anything can happen at any moment. You're looking out for everybody, like the staff, everybody, the patients, guests, because guests be crazy. I've been through some stuff. I'm gonna have to do a video also about what's it like working with patients, like for somebody who never worked in the hospital. That was me. So next we're going to talk about dress code. Listen, it's important to go looking professional. You're in a hospital, you're in a professional building, guys. Is it federal? I think government. Do they say like federal buildings? No, I don't know. Is it governmental building? I don't know. It's a hospital, but you are in a hospital. You can't go up in here with t-shirt and jeans to an interview. No. You see, this would be my interview outfit. Like, I would throw in a little cute turtleneck, a nice blazer, which I get many compliments for. Actually, I think I wore this one to my when I got my IA position. She said I look very nice and very clean. I said thank you so much. So, I think a good blazer, a good cardigan if you must. Do not wear a t-shirt to an interview. Just don't. Very unprofessional, guys. Unprofessionalism is a real thing in careers, especially like a hospital. You are around a lot of people. A lot of people see you. They don't want to just think, oh, well, I wonder why she's not working here. Who is this guest? Because there's no way she comes to an interview like this. Every interview I went to in a hospital, I looked very professional. I always go with blazers though, because I just think I kind of want to look like I'm very professional, and they know I'm a college student because I say it, but I just want them to take me serious. That's the whole thing, to be taken seriously. You don't want them to think you don't care or you don't want the position. So looking professional, sitting upright, making eye contact is very important as well. I'm talking about my eyes did not leave. I did that to anybody I talk to. I just like constantly stare. And my aunt says I have a really, she like talking to me because I like just look at her. She was like, "You're a very good listener." I said, "Thank you." Along with let's talk about like professional etiquette. Seriously, guys, listening to them, waiting to speak, not talking over people, not raising your voice too much, very soft spoken. I'm not saying you have to talk like that, but I'm just talking about it helps a lot in the hospital, because they're basically eyeing you to see how, like, the way you are, to see how you would be with their people. That's what she told me also during, like, when I got the position, that she wanted to see, she was looking at like my body language to see how I would act with everything she said, because she was explaining the position to me, and that's what they all do. I noticed that when I was doing my nutrition position, she was showing me around the kitchen, and that was my first time actually in the kitchen in a hospital. I said, "What the heck?" I didn't know it was that big. I love that job. And it was like so much, and she was like, "Do you think you'll like it?" And in the inside I was like, "Oh my god, this is like way too much for me." Caught it the second day. I was working the first day, like helping out a lot on the first day, delivering food, and I caught it immediately the second day, and she said she's amazed how fast I learn. I get that a lot as well. I've worked very fast. I was like, yeah, even though I was so nervous. My PCT job, she was telling me everything, and I was like, oh, this is definitely gonna be hard, but you couldn't tell. I was like, oh yes, I can do it. I can try my hardest. That's all I said. I was like, oh, I think I can learn and grow here. Which did turn out right. Even though that position didn't work out for me, it still gave me skills from with what I did. Okay, so let's go on to the next part, guys. So next we are going to talk about the difference between the Zoom interview and the in-person interview. I had both with my PCT job. Because they said I got it over the phone in my Zoom, but then she said we have to do an in-person interview, and I'm talking about, y'all, the intimidation when you go up to a hospital. It's always intimidating. My mom keep on saying it's only because I know I want to look cute in scrubs. I'm like, okay, no, it's not, even though I was look cute. I was cute. So in your interview over the phone, all they do is say, ask you, I see you're interested in this position. Like, why do you want this position? They do ask you that in certain positions. And then I told her, I was like, well, I just this will give me an opportunity to gain more experience up in the healthcare field, because I already had experience a little bit. And then she was like, okay, thank you. And we should just I was telling her about myself, and she said she'll do a follow-up. So I got an interview over the Zoom. So I was dressed professionally, guys. I was not looking like this. I didn't have all this stuff behind me. So I went into a room where there was like nothing, just me. And she got on Zoom with a nurse that was on the floor, the section I was applying for. By the way, a PCT is a patient care tech, so they help like clean the patient, help them eat, set them up, turn them, all stuff like that, check their daily temperatures, blood, all that stuff, changing a lot of stuff, which I did not know it was all that. That's why it didn't work out, hint. So when I got into the Zoom interview, she was, once again, I told her she asked me about my history in the hospital, like, because I had it on my resume. They look at your resume, because she said she pulled it up. I was like, okay, here we go. That's why you shouldn't lie, because you get nervous, and you will have to learn how to make some stuff up. And I was like, okay, thank God I ain't lie. So she asked me about my position at the hospital, at the nutrition, and I told her, and then she asked me, this lady asked you really professional questions, like certain positions, y'all. She asked me what I like about the job, and I told her I like the patients. I actually like interacting. I didn't think I was going to be doing that much interacting, but they had, when y'all in the nutrition, they got you everywhere. I'm talking about people need stuff 24/7, and it really gets you. I might actually do my next video talking about that whole position, because I very much enjoyed it, and I need to tell y'all some crazy stuff I saw. Also, she asked me what did I dislike about the position, position. Then she asked me, what is something, you know, like stuff you see online. If your teammate did this, what would you do? I was like, oh my God, okay, what the heck? Even though I had the answers to all that. She also asked me what is like, what's like a bad quality I had. Kind of like, you know, they say what's something you think you can fix yourself. Then she said, how does the patient impact you? She also asked me, what's like something that you learned in the hospital? What's something you learned working in the hospital? Or something that was like emotionally attached to you? And I told her the truth, which was the point of the in-person interview is to basically when they say you got the position, when they ask for an interview in person, they're going to give you the job, and they also want to see you. They're going to tell you about the position because they want to see your reaction to it to see if you can actually do it. They're going to ask you more questions, like if you have any questions, which you need to ask some questions, because I was like, that's another thing, ask questions, guys. I'm like, what's the normal, what happens in here? What is the true thing? Because they don't tell you the truth on them papers, y'all. They didn't, like, during my training, I actually, a lot of stuff I did not know. I was like, what? They do all this? For example, IAs, because of COVID, the hospital, which is the biggest one in Arkansas, Baptist Health, that's where I worked, I didn't know that they have IAs sit in the rooms. So the reason I applied for that position is because I didn't have to interact with patients. I was like, okay, I can do computer work. That's all it was supposed to be. No, it's more than I thought. And I was like, okay, this ain't for me. This ain't for me. That's all I said. This is not for me. I didn't know they sit in rooms with COVID. You know, all the things I told you guys are very important. Hospitals are very important. Very intimidating, like very intimidating. If you never stepped, I'm pretty sure everybody been to a hospital before or had to get a checkup somewhere in the healthcare. It's very intimidating. You see people everywhere. You don't know like where to go, who to ask. So it's very scary. But knowing that you might be working in a hospital is actually very cool. For some reason, that's why I worked at these hospitals. Like I said, I'm surprised they didn't investigate that and ask, why are you working in so many different hospitals? I would have just been like, well, this the city I'm in. What you expect? I worked at the one in my other city because that's where it was at. Came home, worked at this one because it was up the street and I wanted another hospital job. Then worked at here because I wanted another one just to see what the hospital was like. I only did this to see what it was like. So I got my experience, and I'm definitely gonna do a video, y'all, about my experience working in the hospital because as y'all can see, I got some stories to tell y'all. But anyways, and I'm definitely gonna do a video about my like what I learned in my little training PCT classes, because one thing ruined it all for me, y'all. One thing ruined it all. And I said after that, I quit. And I said I will never be a PCT ever again. Respect to him, though. Respect. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Took some great notes. I hope if you got any questions, leave in the comments. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.